Hi, this is MS Malik 681. I'm remaking my beginner's guide for OpenBOR due to my initial video having some really bad audio on it, to the point where people couldn't even make out what I was saying. So I'm going to try to speak a bit more clearly on this one and make sure my audio doesn't sound too quiet on my own video. I'll review it. So yeah, I am working on a Linux machine. I used to use Windows, but I've moved over to Linux as a test, and I found it did everything I needed, so I was happy to stick with it. I'm going to be using cross-platform and free tools to modify OpenBOR or make my mod. So Sublime Text is a really good text editor I'll be using. You could use Notepad or any text editing program you're happy with, but this is the one I'll recommend. And GIMP is a really good paint tool for editing your images for the game you're making. So first thing you'll need to do is go over to Chrono Crash forums, and here if you've signed up and logged in, you can get to the download section and you can just download a module from there, or if you've found one already you like, you can follow this guide just to extract that module and use that as a base. So I already know the one I'm going to use is BOR, so I'm just going to download that quickly. And I'll chuck that on my desktop. That should be done in a second. And if we extract that, we get this bor.pack. This is the pack file. So you'd also need to download the actual application, which you'll find on the GitHub page. GitHub.openBOR. I'll put links to these in the description. So when you get to the GitHub page, you want to click on tags, releases, and this is the latest stable release right here. 6391 is the one I recommend. You can try other builds if you wish to, but this is the one I like using. So you would actually download this one right here. At the time of filming this doesn't include the updated Linux version, but it has got the Windows version, PSP, Nintendo Wii, and Android. So that's what you would download. So I have a folder here already set up. It's got the exe there, so all these extra folders in the packs folder is where you would put your bor.pack or whichever pack file you're looking to base your game on. So let me delete this data folder here, we don't need that. So just to test the game's working, I'll run it with my app image. As I'm on Linux, you would normally run it with the exe on Windows. So just get started, make sure the game's working. Everything seems to be fine there. Let me just show you something. Initially, I always delete the saves folder when I start, so you've got nice, fresh, clean settings. So the screen starts off really small like this, but you can increase it by going to options, video, and I like to make it ×2 so I can actually see what's going on there. So we've got some characters in this game. What we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these heroes and just replace their sprites with a new character, and modify the way the character plays up until the point when your character becomes a totally new original character. So we use Max as the base for this demo, so that's what he actually looks like when he's walking and standing, jumping. We're going to replace all these animations with our own custom character. That's pretty much the best way to get started. Just start chucking your own character in there, sprite by sprite, and then slowly start changing the backgrounds, changing the icons, changing the enemies. Eventually you end up with your own mod or game. So let's exit out of this for now. So you need to extract that using BOR pack. So on the download section of Chrono Crash, I believe you would find the Windows version under Neo Edit Pack. So under tools, there's a Neo edit pack. This includes the extraction for the Windows version. I might add something on there with the Linux tools, but here's the Linux version that I've compiled from the source code. In the source code there's a tools folder where you can build this. So once you've got it built, it's actually a command line application. So if I paste it in there, let's run terminal, we run Beats Rage pack. Really? Oh, got the Beats Rage dot pack. Really? This file should work. What is going on? Bash. Something's not right. Let me just check this quickly. It's got the execution permissions. Beats Rage pack. Okay, that is not the file I need. Yeah, no, I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, totally messed up there. It's called Beats Rage pack, but without the full stop, so I think I got it saved in my tools section. But in case anyone else is using Linux, I'll just compile it from the source code. So let's go to GitHub, OpenBOR, just download to the desktop. And that's done. Extract that. In tools, you'll find Beats Rage pack, source, and you can compile it here. Build.sh, need permissions. Okay, I want lin for Linux. Done. Beats Rage pack. So this is the file I needed. Got it now. Go down the packs folder. Make sure it's executable. Yes, it is. Okay, let's try this again. Beats Rage pack. Yeah, so it just gives you a little usage explanation of how to use this application. So, default build a pack file from files folder. Default is extraction. So let's just try doing Beats Rage pack. Here you go. So now it's made a data folder here. This holds all the data that was in this pack file. So cut that, take it up one level. So where you've got your exe, your main files, this is where you paste the data folder. Now you can delete this or rename it or move it, but you don't want that in this folder anymore. So I'm just going to delete it, and we make a new file or empty document and name it bor.pack. So what will happen, this is just an empty blank file. When it tries to access this, it will check this location for the actual data. Now for Linux users, data has to be spelled in lowercase, so I hope to fix that in the source code eventually, but that's only for Linux, whereas Windows doesn't. It's not case sensitive. You can't have two folders called data, whereas in Linux you can, but one of them would have different cases on the letters. But yeah, let's get back to the tutorial. So I do have, well, once you get in this folder, let me just explain what you got here. You got a file here called models.txt. This has all the information you need. So this is Sublime Text. I like this because it's got two windows here, and I've made a personal I've made a little you'll see when I get into the characters and I'm editing characters, it's got a lot of colors, so I can easily tell whereabouts in the file I am. It just it makes my life a lot easier, so I will share that with you in the link as well. So Max is the character we're changing, so this tells the engine to load this character because he's a player. His name is Max, and this is the location of his text file. So we don't actually have to actually replace him, we can just add a new character. So we can find his folder here, Maxima. We can copy that and paste it here, and now we can rename the folder to the name of the character we want to make. So I'm making Ryu, so I'll just call it Ryu. Go in there, and he's got a text file somewhere. Okay, so to keep things simple, rename this text file also to Ryu, and then we go into that text file, and up here we change his name to Ryu. Speed I want a bit faster, because one thing I know about Maxima, he's slow, and Ryu is not slow. Let's go 12, maybe that'd be good. So these parts of the character up here, this is all the header data. This is icon. You need to change that, but for now I'll just leave that as it is. Don't need a remap for him, that's for alternate colors. So yeah, we've got Ryu here. We need to add him into the model.txt, so you can copy one of these players and just edit the parameters. So put him first so he's easy to find. Change the name to Ryu. I like doing capital for the first letter when you're doing the actual name. Don't have to, it's up to you. Well, can't even spell. Ryu. And again, Ryu. So this is going to point directly to him. So data characters or chars, Ryu, and then Ryu.txt. So that points now to our Ryu character. Let's save that. And this has been modified, so let's save that as well. And yeah, as you can see, there's colors here. So for each animation, I've got this orange color. I've got this for modification data, this for a B-box. I'll explain what all this is once I start making a character. So we need sprites. So as you can see, this guy's got his own sprites. We want to replace them with a new character sprites, Ryu's sprite. So I've got him here somewhere. Here he is. So this is a GIF image I downloaded. If I open that with GIMP, we can get started. So what I like to do is look at the size of the character and make a nice box around them. So what I would do is I would use the same box for all animations of the character. So you need to make sure your initial box has a good amount of space behind him and on top of him. These are the most important ones. So let's base it on his idle animation. This one here, I think, is his idle. Yep. So that seems okay right there. Or actually, we could base it on his Tatsumaki Senpuken, because I know he stretches out quite a bit for that move. Where is it? It's down there. Okay. I mean, the box looks okay. You can fit all his Tatsumakis in there. So, yeah, how big is this? Let's go 180 by 180. So just modify the parameters here. This box is 180 by 180. So that's what I'm going to use. I'll just make a new image. Actually, what we want to do is make a palette for this character first. So this character does have an index palette already. This first color should be his background color, but I'm going to show you how to do it from scratch. So let's increase the color mode to RGB. Let's use this tool, which is the select by color tool, and select anywhere in the background. So all this background text has been highlighted. The background color, I will make an odd color. I normally like to use teal, this type of color. So this color here, to select that, or to replace all the background with that color, you hold Control, press comma. So there's a comma and a full stop button on your keyboard. That will do each of these colors. Comma is this one here, full stop is the background color. So if I press Control and full stop, it will change to a background color. Control and comma, this one. So when you've highlighted a whole section and you want to change all of it, you just do that. So yeah, it pretty much looks like that's all done. We want to get rid of these selections, so I like to press Control, Shift and A. That will just get rid of all selections on the character. Now we want to decrease his color mode down to index color. Maximum of 256 colors, generate an optimal palette, and say convert. So now we've got his palette here, but the problem is this background color needs to be the background color, but there's a few colors that look like his background color. So let's get color picker and just pick the background. Now I can see here that this color right here is highlighted, so this right here is the background color. Color index number 47. So if we right click and say rearrange color map, we can move color index 47 to the first color in this palette. So now that is the first color. We say OK. So now this will be the transparent color when you get into the game. Now you need to make sure any pictures or images you take off of this main sprite sheet need to reflect this exact same color palette. So we're going to save this palette. Up here we will go to palette editor. No, we won't. We're going to go here to palettes. If you don't have that up here, you can add it with this little icon here. So add a tab, then look for palettes. It should be there. No, it's patterns, palettes, there it is. So you add that in there, go to palettes. Now you want to right click anywhere and say import palette. So select image. You've only got one image open, so it'll definitely be that image that you want the palette for, and you're going to save that. Now you need to give it a name. I like to get rid of this default name and just write whatever name. I'll type Ryu, lowercase, nice and easy, import. So anytime you need to update an image with that palette, you can just load that palette. I'll show you how to do that now. So this image, I'll increase it to RGB color, so it's a high color now, and I want to load that palette onto this image. So I would say I would go from image to mode, indexed. Here I would use a custom palette, and when you start typing the name of the palette, it will give you the result. So I named it Ryu, lowercase, nice and easy. It's selected that palette. I'll say convert, and now if I look at the color map, it's the exact right palette, because you can tell this is the background color right here. So this is all set now. What we need to do now is start pulling out the images. We would normally start with this idle animation, so let's get that done quickly. So what I would do, let's copy this image because that's the first frame, and so I'll press Control and C after highlighting him with the rectangle selection tool. Control and C will copy him. If I press Control, Shift and V, it will paste it as a new image. Now, like I said before, I want the size of this box to be 180 by 180. So if I say image canvas size, go 180 by 180, and I want to move him to about there. It's about the middle. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where the middle is. About there, I think. That should be fine. Okay, a bit more this way. Right, let's center him and just bring him down. Okay, that should be fine, I would say. Just resize. So now we need to apply that palette. So image, mode, indexed, use custom palette, value, convert. He's done. Now what we want to do is start copying these frames. So I downloaded this sprite sheet which had all the frames in order in the right place. So I'm going to copy that, go back to this image, and what I'm going to do is add a new layer. So new layer, okay, and then just paste it on there. So what I can do is use the well, let's just defloat him for now. Use this color tool to select this background color and just delete that. So now he's on this layer. There's nothing but Ryu's image. So if you highlight him like this with your selection tool, press Control, Shift and L, it will float him. So now I can move him about wherever I want. So if I line up his feet, this animation should be okay. So his feet don't want to line up properly, but okay, let's just press Control, Shift and A to get rid of all the lines. Oh, I've got to defloat him first. Okay, so I'm going to use the bucket fill tool. So you want to fill similar, fill transparent areas and sample merged, threshold of 0, fill by composite. With these options it should let me just select the background color and fill. No, didn't work. Let me check if it did work. Kind of worked. Alright, let's just undo that. Another way of doing this is, like I explained earlier, do the select by color tool, and as you can see, this is all transparent. Actually, now the bucket tool might work, but this let me just show you. So you could do the bucket tool, and that should work now because the bucket tool looked at the image's hair, and it wouldn't do the shoulders of the Ryu, even though he's in the background. But if I get rid of that visibility on the background image, I can just go to this one, so make sure this one's selected, and yeah, that's done properly. But yeah, just to show you, there's another way of doing it, like I did earlier. Do the select by color tool. This way, with some characters, they might have little bits like under their arms where you might not be able to get to that with a bucket fill. So if I highlight everything that's transparent and press Control and comma, it will do this, which was better. So we'll go with that. So let's just see. Seems to be okay. Okay, let's get the next one in. So again, Control and copy, go back here, make a new layer, say okay, and Control and V. Again, you want to defloat him, get rid of his background color, select him, press Control, Shift and L to float him and get them feet lined up. So when I'm zooming in, I'm holding Control and just using my mouse wheel backwards and forwards, and wherever you've aimed your mouse, that's the section of the image you'll zoom into. Makes life a lot easier. Another thing I like doing is Control, Shift and J, I think, just does the picture from the width, the height to the bottom, just fills out the whole screen. Sometimes that's nice. Like on something like this, that would be terrible. Look at that. But Control and J is quite useful sometimes. Okay, so let's move on to the next frame. I haven't filled in the background. Let's defloat this first. Get rid of these two images. Select the background and let's just check how that animates. Yeah, it looks about right. Okay, let's keep that visible. Move on to the next one. tedious work. Okay, make a new layer and paste in, get rid of background color, defloat, line up his feet. If his feet line up for the entire animation, I won't have to actually do any other messing about. Make the other pictures invisible so I can do this background fix. And then defloat that and check how he animates. It looks good. Okay, I think we're on the last frame here finally. And we can get Ryu's animation, his idle, into the game. The fun part. Okay, so new layer. Okay. Paste him in. Get rid of that. Delete. Again, unview the background items, defloat him, select the background and make it transparent color. I didn't actually want to do that, did I? So first I need to put him in the right place. So, oops. Let's do this. Yep. Not sure how this one will look. It looks a bit odd. To wait and see. Maybe that's him coming back up for the animation. Okay. So yeah, let's just do his background. Okay, now we want to see how that animates. I don't think that's going to be nice, but tools. No, not tools. Filters, animation, and playback. So this is too small. Let's increase the zoom on this to 200% so we can actually see him. Let's slow down his speed of his animation so we can see how well it runs and just play that. That actually doesn't look too bad. I think that's his full animation. Yeah, that's right, you bopping up and down. Okay, we're good to go. So now we need to start exporting these frames in order. What I like to do, make all layers visible. Well, make the first layer visible. So this is the initial image for his idle animation. Let's just check our folder for Ryu and see what Maxima's idle animation is. Idle 000 GIF. Yeah, we can just replace these. So let's delete all of his idles, but the way it's written is idle, and it's got 000, then 001, 002. So let's delete all of those. These idle animations are gone. So let's get Ryu's animations in there. The way we do that is, like I said, we highlight the first image, make this the only image visible, get rid of any floatingness or any lines, and say File. Now you don't save on GIMP, you export. So you say Export As. Now we need to navigate to our folder, which is on the desktop. Tiny Data, Shars, Ryu is down there somewhere. And now we want to type in idle 0000123.gif. You can also work with PNGs if you wish to. I actually like working with GIFs, even though PNGs are better. But yeah, it's just so I can never make the mistake of having the image high color. It's just always going to be 256, but yeah, it's my personal preference. You can work with PNGs if you wish to. So let's export that. It will ask you for any export options. You can just copy these and say export. Okay, and there is the idle animation. So that's frame 1, which is actually 0, but whatever. Now we move on to the next one. you don't actually have to select it, you can just make it visible. You won't be able to see anything from behind because we've got the background there, so when I toggle this on and off you can see there's no difference made to the picture. So now that's frame 2, we say file, export as. It's already in the same folder. All I need to do is increment this idle 000 to idle 001, and I can export that. Export, move to the add the next frame, visible, file, export as, change that to 02, export, export, next frame, file, export as, 3, export, export, the last frame, file, export as, 4, export, and export. Now, if we go back to Rearrange TXT, we need to change his idle animation to only have only have 4 frames of animation. So what we do is we make sure that it's got loop 1, which means it will loop over and over. The delay you can change to whatever your preference for your animation. With this, I think we'll go for like 12, maybe 10 would be okay. How many frames is it? 4. So we want it to go up to 004 and then repeat. We need to get an offset. What an offset is the exact point where this guy's center of gravity, I think you would call it. So let's get a nice white color and make a nice little offset down here somewhere. So the size of my brush should be 1. Its offset will be around about, let's say, I like to go a bit higher than the feet. I mean, you can use something like a crop tool to actually try and measure. So I can see this line kind of shows me the middle of him, and this other line tells me whereabouts his feet are. So like I said, I like to go a bit up from the feet so the shadow is properly connected to the feet. So let's do his offset around about there. So if I let go, my cursor is at 88,166. So down here is my cursor coordinates. So it was 88,166, and I'll use that as my offset. 88,166. All my frames share the same offset, so I don't have to type it individually for every single frame. And now we need to make something called a B-box. If this character doesn't have a B-box, the engine won't recognize that he's got a body for the enemy to attack. So while he's idle, you won't be able to attack him unless he has a B-box. So let's make him a B-box, or what I like to call a body box. All you do is just use the crop tool and crop a square around your character, roughly where you want his body box to be. You can make it really tight and small or really fat. It's up to you. Don't do it too far out. It's got to look right, so when they hit them it looks like they've actually hit properly on their body. So I'm happy with this box where it is right here. All my animations can share the same body box because he doesn't move too much. And with GIMP you've got some parameters here. So this is the X coordinate, top left corner. This is the Y coordinate of the top left corner, and this is the width of the box, and this is the height of the box. These 4 parameters are the exact right parameters you need to make a body box. So they're all in order. So 68, 80, 46, 88, just in this order. Top 2, drop down, bottom 2. So when you do the crop tool, everything's set up for you to just copy the body box coordinates. So let's make this less than full screen, and let's update the body box coordinates. So like I said, 68, 80, 46, 88. So his body box is done. Let's save that. So now Ryu's been done. Now I want to show a common issue that people will have. So I'm going to cut this idle animation and put it below his walk animation and save that. Did that on purpose to mess up his color palette. So let's test if this game works and if Ryu is in fact there. Yeah, thought I increased the video size. Let's do that now. Okay, so start game, new game, easy. Okay, that's waiting. Forget it, just pick him. I'm sure that's right. He's the first character, and look, he's all the way up there. What the is going on? Look at me. I'm not Ryu. My chest has got weird black things in there. Okay, I know what I've done wrong. So let's just get out of that game. So the issue is I have made a new folder for Ryu, but this idle animation is still pointing to the folder for Maxima. So this part of the folder which says Maxima, we need to update this to Ryu for everything. So if we highlight the forward stroke or forward slash Maxima forward slash, press Ctrl and H, we're going to replace this through the entire document with forward slash Ryu forward slash. So we copied over all the images, so Maxima's images are in this folder as well, so it doesn't matter, nothing will crash. Nothing will crash, it should be fine. Replace all. So now we've updated that, let's save that. I just want to quickly check if he's got a waiting animation. Nope. Okay, let's run that again. There you go, it's Ryu. It's evil Ryu. Look at them colours, disgusting. So if I just start the game, I'll show you that all the images of Maxima still look okay, but the images of Ryu look disgusting. Or some people might think that looks kind of cool, but I mean, he's animating right, he looks like Ryu, but the reason he's doing that is because when you have a document in OpenBOR Rage for a character, the first image loaded, which in this case is walk 000, will be the palette it uses for the entire character. So if I get this idle animation and push this back up to where it was, and save that, now he should be displaying in the correct color. Hey, and if I go into the game, now Maxima's pictures don't look right because Ryu is the palette we're using. This actually is not the right way to do this, so let's just move that back down to where it was. I'll just Control and Z and get it back to where it was. The way to do this is get one of the images, and in the header data we want to add palette, and so you can specify the palette used for the character here. So if I save that, now even though his walk animation is the first image, because I've set the palette parameter in his header data, Ryu will be displaying correctly. Okay, so Ryu needs a walk animation. Let's do more tedious work. Yeah, so let's just delete all these layers. Well, actually, let's just copy one of these images to a new image and start all over again. Whoops. Control and A, copy, Control, Shift and V. It's a new image. Get rid of this. Discard changes. So his walk animation is down here. I really want to be lazy here, but shouldn't be lazy because it looks like they're all on the same level. Okay, yeah, let's be a bit lazy. I don't think I'll call this lazy anyway. So we'll do a really small box down here, because basically with the person who's made this Ryu has done his so press Control and full stop, get the color down there. They've done his walk animation. All the feet seem to be in the right place where they need to be, so to save me a bit of time, I'm just going to copy it like this. So I'm going to stop right up above that line and get this animation frame and paste it in here. So this is the first frame, so does that look like he's actually... Yeah, okay. Does that look like he's taking off? I'm going for a walk. Maybe a touch forward. And that back foot looks a bit off. His head moves forward a little bit. I guess I'm happy with that. Yeah, the feet are exactly on the same level. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm putting them there. So I'll use that as a base for the rest of my animations. New layer. Okay. Let's load the palette. Make sure you never forget to do that. Right, you convert. Let's get the second image. And on the new layer, just paste them on there. It's easier to work with once you get rid of this background. Don't know if I'll be able to just line up the feet again like I did last time. Guess that looks right. Okay, we'll go with that. Get rid of the background. Oh, actually, I've got the wrong color there. Need my foreground color to be the background color, so I can do that little trick we did earlier. Well, highlight the background and do that. Okay, let's try to get through this a lot quicker on this one because we know what we're doing. We're just copying the images and putting them into place. Okay, new layer. Let's float that. Maybe I should go by his shoulder. Don't know, or his head. Yeah, I was supposed to cheat. But the cheat didn't work, did it? Okay, kind of forgot about my cheat, didn't I? Okay, yeah, let's delete this layer. Delete layer. Also delete this layer. Let's get the first frame again, and what we'll do is we'll get the actual line in there as well. So I'm just moving the foot so it's in the right place. Right, so now when I press the visible icon, there's no changing it. So I've got that little line at the bottom. So now I can get the right height for his whole walk animation just by getting that line down there in the right place. So new layer. Say okay. Control V, line up the line. Okay. New layer. Copy. Control and V, line up that line again. Okay, new layer. Control and V. New layer. Okay, almost finished there. Then I can start adjusting them to make sure it looks right. New layer. Yeah, that's the last one frame. Control and V. Okay, so the height on all of these is perfect, but the left and right position is not perfect. So let's start amending these. Okay. Yeah, that actually doesn't look too bad. Okay, I'll keep that. Let's go on to the next frame. Okay, let's go on to the next frame. Yeah, I think it needs to come over a little bit. Let's go with that. Okay. That's not too bad. Let's go back to the first frame and see if these two... Yeah, not too bad. Now let's see how it looks in animation by going to filters, animation, playback. Get that into 200. Can go higher if you manually type the number. Speed times on play. Yeah. Something seems wrong about that. Slow them down a little bit and see which animation just seems a bit off. I don't know, it just seems a bit off. Maybe these frames are in the wrong order. Maybe this is him walking backwards. I don't know. No, this is definitely him walking backwards because he's leaning forwards on these top ones. So that should be him. Let's see how it looks in the game. Let's get these all exported. We need to get rid of that stupid line at the bottom. So I'm just scrubbing this line at the bottom for each frame. I should be a bit more. Yeah, just do it there. So control and comma, control and comma, control and comma, control and comma, control and comma. I don't think that actually worked. No, it's still there. Control and comma, control and comma, control and comma. Okay, that's gone. Even though the background's transparent on these layers, I don't think it's a problem. Because, I mean, the bulk of it covers the background picture. So, you'll never see the previous Ryu. Yeah, it should be fine. Right, let's do this. So let's get his walk animation. Let's go back to our folder. Just press F3 so I can have two different panes. Characters. Ryu. Get a bit bigger. I want walk. Yeah, it's got walk again, starting from 000 all the way up to 7. Delete those. Let's get Ryu to replace him. So file, export as. We're in the right folder. Yes, we are. Walk 123.gif. Export. Next frame. File, export as. Walk 001. Export. Next frame. File, so export as 002. Next frame. File, export as 003. File, export as 004. File, export as 005. Export. So we need to update his text file now. What is this? Close that. In the text file, his walk animation should only go up to frame 4, 5. Okay. And his offset should be the same as the idle animation, because we're working off one generic offset. Delay can be 12 as well. Loop, you definitely want it to loop. And we need a body box for this guy. Like I said, most of the frames are pretty much the same, so we can just do one generic body box for this one. Like I said, just cover them up and then copy the parameters. 61, 85, 52, 80. Save that. And let's test out and see how that works. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's walking, but on that one animation he seems to just jerk forward on that. Don't know if that's how he's supposed to walk. I don't know why I'm not happy about that last this frame right here. So if you ever want to open an image in GIMP, you just grab it and pull it up to this little control box here, and it will open as a new image, and you can modify it. Let's actually check it on here again. Here, stuff like that happens. So when this resets into frame 1, no, I mean the foot definitely seems like it's in the right place, but we can move it back a touch, I guess. Let's highlight him and move it back a touch. I think he's jumping even more now. Okay, the height of the feet seems a bit off as well. Bring them down a touch. I think that was the problem, his height was a bit too much. So he wasn't smoothly transitioning into this animation. He seems a bit better now. Okay, so let's make sure he's highlighted and export as walk 5. Yeah, it was the last one, wasn't it? Okay, let's double check that again, see if he animates any better now. I don't know, it still seems a bit weird to me, but whatever. That's a walk animation. So you've got him walking about the screen, and you've got him in his idle animation. Let's give him a quick attack, and guess that will do it for a beginner's guide. So I'll give him a nice good punch. Let's get rid of this. Keep that there for a second. punch. See, I don't have time to do too many. I'll just show you one attack. So I'll do his hard punch. Three-frame animation. That can't be right. This one is definitely part of this animation. Unless this is the last frame of his punch where he's pulling back. Because this also looks like the startup frame for this punch. Oh, decisions. Right, let's do a kick. Right, let's just make him do this little kick here. This will do. Like Kung Fu Master. Okay. Yeah. So copy that. Actually, let's mess something up here. Let's just close this. Discard. Pull in any one of these. Control A, Control copy, Control Shift and B. Now close that before I accidentally overwrite that. Okay, so copy that. Actually, let's copy it a bit closer to his foot, so we've got the actual. Actually, I don't need the way it is, so. Actually, I should be basing this. Let's close this. Let's base it from its idle animation, since most likely he's going to go into the kick from his idle animation. Maybe his walking animation too, but yeah, I'll just use the J there. Control Shift and J to make that full screen. So let's just try to get it just right. Seems off. Let's come up a bit. Maybe a touch more. Seems about right. Bring it forward one. Bring it forward a bit more. I mean, he definitely goes onto that back foot, but it spins round as well. So, I mean, that's fine. That seems fine to me. Let's get rid of this. Let's just get a second animation frame in there. Okay, copy that. Make a new layer. Say OK and get a second animation frame in there. And again, just play about with it till it looks right. That looks perfect. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so we've already got the palette for him because I loaded his idle animation. Well, this is still his idle animation. You've got to be careful not to overwrite that by accident. So let's get this one exported as a proper file name. Export as attack 001. Export. And then the second frame there we'll call attack 002. Oh, I forgot they always start from 0, don't they? Who cares? File export as 002. Export. Okay, I need his body boxed on, so let's get that out of the way. I don't think these two would actually share the same body box because he leans quite far back on his second animation frame. So we've got to do one for each. So attack 1, there we go. Data shards Ryu ATK, short for attack 001. And then it's going to 002. tk002 dot body box for the first frame will be 4681, 4787. And for frame 2, let's just copy this, paste it down here. So obviously on this animation you want to make sure the loop is 0, so it doesn't replay this. You want quite a fast frame here for attacks. You don't want them going through the whole animation too slowly. Attacks should normally be quite fast. So let's get the body box for his second frame. As I said, the second frame, probably get away with it, but I'm going to move that bit back as well. Down. Yeah, I'd say that's okay. Maybe bring that, no. Okay, second one, let's go with 3185, 6183. Okay, that's done. So will he come back? Yeah, I think he would. So this is going to repeat back to attack 1 at the end before he finishes this attack. And the body box needs to go back to that as well on this frame. Offset is going to be the same offset as his idle animation. Actually, let's move this up so it's closer to his idle animation. It's in there. Idle animation 88 by 166. So another good thing about the offset being one generic offset, like I said, it's important to have enough space behind them and on top of them, because these can't move. But the thing is, if you need more space below him or on the side of him, if you pull this picture out or down, the offset will still be the exact same offset. So you can push it out, you can push it down, that's not a problem, the offset stays the same. But if there's something behind him, you'll have to move about his offset. So always make sure above them and behind them you've got enough space to do what you need to do. So now we also need a new parameter here called the attack box. So on frame 2 of this animation, exactly like we did with the body box, whoops, got to be careful. So with the body box we just did the square on its body, so this is just on the attack, or the area of him that is attacking. So again, what we do on frame 2, you type attack. You can number your attacks. So attack is just attack 1 or the first attack, then you do attack, you could do attack 2, attack 3, attack 4. The difference between these are your enemy can have different pain animations, so they would react differently to different attacks. So let's say if you've got an attack that you want to, I don't know, smash your enemy into the floor, like an overhead attack that slams them into the ground, so they can have a custom pain animation where they fall into the ground, for example. So let's do this. Parameters here on GIMP are 67, 77, 78, 45. I like to do a little gap here because the next two parameters, I believe the first one would say if the how much damage the attacks can do. Let's go 10. You could do whatever you want. And the next one would say if they're going to fall down from this attack. So I'm going to say yes because I haven't got time to do more than one attack. There's other parameters you can add afterwards. A good place to get information is the OpenBOR Rearrange manual, which I'll also have linked in the description to this video. If you search for attack box, you might find it. Here we go. So this attack hashtag, so like I said, you can add a number there. You've got the XY, so all the coordinates like you would do for a body box, the damage and the power. Then you can specify if the enemy can block the attack or not, if a flash should be shown or not. On some hits you might not want to show a flash, and pause time. For really big or heavy hits, adding a bit of pause time gives like a dramatic effect to the hit and makes it seem like it did more damage. Z can actually push your attack box into the Z plane. So where your character is, it moves down the stage from where they are. So that we won't be making use of that today, but that's there. But yeah, this OpenBOR Rage manual, really, if you want to make an OpenBOR Rage game, I would suggest reading through this whole manual at least once to get an idea of what's possible in OpenBOR Rage. But you know, getting in there and actually trying it is the best way to learn. But when getting back to the tutorial, so when we make an attack box, we also need to disable it, otherwise it will still be there for the rest of the animation. So when he's pulling his foot back at the end of the animation, you don't want him to suddenly hit someone. It won't look right, so we just cancel out the attack box by doing all zeros. So if the attack box is 0 height and 0 width, yeah, there is no attack box. So we can save that, and now Ryu has an attack. So let's just test his attack out. Find an enemy. So yeah, it's a normal little kick. Yeah, come here. Just kick these girls. Get back! I want to kick Frenzy. I'll kick you all. Oh, what the? So anyway, I mean that should get you started. So you just yeah, there's lots of little tricks and stuff you can do to make your character jump, like jump frame. There's lots of stuff. This is just a quick introduction and a beginner's guide on how to get started. Also, the same application you used, the BOR Rage pack, not only turns a pack file into the data folder, it can also convert the data folder into a pack file for when you want to release your game. So yeah, I mean that should just about cover it. Like I said, this is just a beginner's tutorial to get you started. I'll try to put links in the description to make it easier for you to get hold of everything you need to get started. But yeah, you just take apart a module and you look at how it was made, what parameters are there that make the character behave the way they behave, and eventually you should start getting the hang of it. But if you follow this guide, you can start making your own character, and that's the main thing. From there, you can learn new things. I mean, scripting, I'm not going to get into that in a beginner's tutorial, but I mean that opens up a lot of windows. You can do a lot more with your mod. I mean, I think you can make an RPG, and I mean like RPG Maker. You can make an RPG in OpenBOR Rage if you know how to script. It's not hard to learn. I might cover it in some future tutorials. So yeah, leave a comment if you're stuck anywhere or if something doesn't work for you. I'll be happy to reply and help you with that. The Sublime text, I'll quickly just go over the package I made, OpenBOR package. I'll have a download to this. So you want to put this in your packages folder. So the link I'm going to give you, just in Sublime checks, preferences, browse packages, you paste it there. When you click on the folder, it should show all these files. And then once you've got a document open, you can say view syntax, and you can select OpenBOR. You can associate it with a type of file. So you just go open all with current extension. So let's say, for example, I've got a text file open right now. I can say every time I open a text file, open it with OpenBOR syntax. So it's got all these colors and stuff. That makes it a lot easier to work with. Like I said, it's up to you. You can use any notepad editor, but this is my recommended one. I think it's amazing. It just makes modding a lot easier for me, and I think it should help anyone else. There is also sound effects, which I'm not really going to get into in this tutorial. Like I said, this is just to get you started, but yeah, sound effects need to be done. in a certain format. Again, if you look through the manual, this will cover everything you need to know. And again, in the comments below, just ask me any questions you need. If you get stuck anywhere or you need any help, I'll be more than happy to support you. If you want to see any other tutorials for anything OpenBeats Rearrange related, just let me know. And you know, if I get enough interest, I'll go out of my way to make one of those. But yeah, happy modding, and wish you the best of luck. See you later, guys.